Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mekka. I come from Norway and I love makeup, especially indie makeup and sparkly makeup. And I think it was in my previous video, or at least one of my previous videos, I did a video on the Glaminatrix Barely Basic Palette, which I received in PR. And I told you I was going to do some more looks with it, and of course I have done that now. I've been using this quite a bit, and I filmed 3 more looks with this palette that I figured I would share with you guys. So if you're interested in seeing that, keep watching. Just before I get into the 3 looks that I created, you do see that I am in a different space than normal, and this is going to be my filming spot for the next year because I had to move for a year because I couldn't get a job at the city where I lived. So I'm actually back to my hometown living at my mom's house again. So that's just a short explanation of why everything is different here, but you can see I've decorated a bit and tried to make it my own space. So yeah, that's why it's looking a bit different, and I hope that this setup will be fine. But now let me show you the first look that I created. Now for today's look, I am wearing like this neon dress, so I want to go in with the greens right here. I'm not sure how deep I want to go because it's summer. It is really warm outside. I just want something light and sparkly. So I will definitely be using this one, and I'll just have to see because I would probably like to use one of the iridescents. It's just that this one is more teal and this one goes a little bit pink. So I'm not sure which one I would like to use. But anyway, I'm gonna start out with this shade. And I just really packed it onto my WG2 brush from Stassi Alex, and I want to make like a halo eye. So I'm just gonna place it here in the outer corner. I mean, look at how easy they blend. It's just so incredible. So I'm just gonna apply it there and also in the inner corner here. Oh, and before I blend too much here, I think I want to go in with that skin colored shade because I did use some concealer just here because I do have quite a lot of like blue color there. So I'll just make sure I mattify that because if not, maybe the other shade will deepen up there, and I don't want that because I don't apply the concealer in the crease. So that would mean it would be darker where the concealer is probably, and that probably wouldn't be a good look. So I'm just also applying it here under the brow. Okay, so I'm going back to that scrunchy shade, and I really want to be making it like a blown out look, and then I'm just intensifying a little bit here. And I think I'll also use that more skin toned color for the middle here because I want it to be very light in the middle. So I guess I'll be using one of the iridescents for the middle of my lid and then the green shimmer for the inner and outer corners. So now I'm going in with that medium green shade on the lower lash line. I'm applying it both on the outer corner here and on the inner corner. And I also want to take just a tiny bit of that deepest shade and just make a slight shadowed wing. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the shade DIY for the middle of the lid, and then I will be using this green one for the inner and outer parts of the lid. And I don't want to use any base right now, I'm just applying it bare onto the matte shadows that I just laid down. And I'm really blowing that shimmer out. I want it very far up, I hope you can see. And it's basically just going where I did not apply too much of that green shade. And for that other green shimmer, I'm using my WG5 brush from Stassi Alex. And I still have a little bit left of that iridescent shade, so I'm just gonna make sure I blend those shimmers together. And then I'm taking the shade DIY also on the lower lash line. And I will also use it for the inner corner, but I'll finish off the rest of my makeup first.
See
just gonna start out with the lightest green shade. And I'm using my WG2 brush from Stassia Alex. And I'm just going to apply this, I think, all over the crease as a transition shade. And typically I do go in with the deepest shade first, but I saw Jacqueline Frosty, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I saw her do this, and then she used like a purple, and it looked so beautiful and grungy, so I just figured why not try something similar. I mean, I was kind of planning to do something a bit more neutral because I'm going out to the store, but I really want to try that purple as like the deepest shade, just together with that green. So I'm just gonna layer it right down here in the crease. I just feel like these blend so well together, even though they're completely different colors. I feel like they blend really nicely. And we shall see how intense I can get this purple when I'm layering it on top of a different shade. Because as I said, I'm usually always going in with the deepest shade first. But I guess it's nice to know whether a formula is buildable or not. And now I'm just gonna go back with that green just to strengthen the color a little bit at the edge of that purple. And I love how grungy it's looking, and it's really reminding me of that Bailey Sarian palette that I've been wanting and wanting and wanting, but I never got it because I think it's a bit expensive for just mattes. But this is giving me that kind of vibe. Now I already applied a little bit of that purple on the lower lash line, but I'm just gonna take a precision brush because I was just using that big one. And I do think I just want this one blended out, at least here on the outer corner. Maybe I'll add the green for the inner part. I'll just see. And I mean, I'm loving this just all matte look. I think it already looks so good. So I have to contemplate if I want to use a shimmer on the lid or not, because I mean, I rarely do all matte looks, but this just looks so grungy and cool. So maybe I'll just leave it at that. I think I'll actually just go for the shade Leggings, which is more of a kind of pink undertone, but it's a very beige shade. And for that I'm using my GB13 brush from Glam shop. And I think I'll just finish off my face makeup before I decide if I should use a shimmer or not on the lid, because as I said, I really like how this is looking, and I'll just have to wait and see what I want to do. Now for the last look in this video, I cannot decide what to do, so obviously you saw it already, but I'm definitely going to be using some of the oranges because I'm wearing this teal kind of shirt, and I think orange goes so well with teal. So I'm just gonna start off with which one? Let's just start with the middle one first, and I'm using my WG1 brush from Stassia Alex. And this shade I'm just placing in the outer corner. I am thinking of either using the green or the purple. I feel like if I use the green, it's going to be very similar to my first look that I created in the first video that I posted with this palette. So maybe I should use the purple if I'm going to take one of the other colors in. And it would be really nice with the shade #2 on the lid, but this one is not shifting at all. So I was also thinking maybe I'd use this shade because it has some teal to pink sparkles. There are so many options and so hard to decide. I was just completely in my zone and forgot to show you, but I was using that lightest orange shade to just blend the edges, and now I'm taking that middle tone that I used here, also just on the lower lash line. And I think I'm gonna do a relatively simple look with that teal to pink shimmer and just see how that layers on top of these colors. So that means I'll probably use some of the oranges closer to the inner corner as well. But first I'm just gonna make sure that I have something on the lower lash line. And I don't know if you can see it, but I have a mosquito bite right here and it's itching so bad. I'm just adding a bit more of that orange towards the inner corner here. And I'm not dragging it way too far up. I don't want it to be a lot higher up than when you can like barely see it when I'm looking straight forward. And then I'm just gonna take the other brush that I just used with that lightest orange shade. It's my WG2 brush, and I'm just gonna blend in the inner corner here too. And then I'm just gonna take this lightest pale shade here that's close to my skin tone with a big fluffy brush, and I'll apply that shade under the brow and towards the inner corner here, because I do have either primer or some concealer, because I do like to add some concealer to the outer corner here and to the inner corner here, just to disguise the discoloration that I have before applying eyeshadow. So that's the mattes. I feel like these oranges just blend together so perfectly. You can see that they are just made for each other. So now I'm going to take the Get Ready With Me shade here, and I'm not going to use a base because I find that these apply very nicely just as they are. And I like using my finger for a shimmer application. Oh, that is very green actually. But I'm just gonna apply this at least to the inner corner. I will see if maybe I'll use one of the other shades for the outer part. Wow, that is definitely a lot more green than I was expecting just from looking at it in the palette. I feel like just using a tiny bit of this green shimmer right here on the outer corner. And again, I'm just applying it with my finger. And then I'm just making sure that I'm blending them a bit together so that they just look cohesive. And I mean, that is basically the look. It's very simple. I will be probably using a very nice orangey brown lipstick. And yeah, I'll just finish off the rest of my makeup and show you the close-up of the look. So those were all of the 3 new looks that I created with this palette, and I think my favorite one is the green look that I created. I just think those tones are so pretty, and I definitely will be using this so much more. I just love combining all of these colors together. I have also done a few looks with the palette that I'm not sure if I took any photos of, but I didn't film it. I really do love this palette. I am curious if you have ordered this palette and if you have it already, because I know a lot of people were loving this. So I would love to hear your opinion of the palette. I also know that some people just stick with the nearly neutral, nearly natural palette that they also have, because it is a little bit similar. But for me, I think this is more up my alley because it's a little bit more colorful, and I will continue using this, as I said, because the shadows are just so amazing. The shimmers are so sparkly, they're shiny, they're shifty, and just perfect. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. Leave me a comment down below which look was your favorite. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!